Um, Welcome back, everyone. In this video, we're going to be doing a walk through the solution of the pivot index, all right, which is our hack our day zero challenge. All right. This implementation is in JavaScript, all right, and okay, I did a video, all right, before explaining exactly what the pivot index is. Okay, so here we're just going to go right into the solution using JavaScript. All right, so our solution here is, so the first thing I did here, is to create a function, okay, called pivot index. All right, and then this function accepts an argument. All right, so an argument of norms. Now this norms is actually an array. All right, so it accepts an array argument. Good. So then inside of this our function, right, we create a variable called total sum, all right, which is this. We create a variable called total sum with the let keyword, all right, and then we assign it the evaluated value of this array method. Okay, so this array method is the reduce method, okay, and so here we are actually attaching okay, the array, all right, that's the array which definitely, like, this function is going to accept when we call the function, all right, then dot reduce. Now this reduce method, okay, accepts a callback function, all right, accepts a callback function. So two things, a callback function and then the initial value. So this initial value is more like the starting value, all right. So and what the reduce method does is it actually goes through an entire array to sum the total elements in that particular array. Okay, so then the first value in our reduce method is the accumulated value, all right, and then the second value is the current value, all right. So but for this particular purpose, we're calling it the sum and the norm, all right. So I could just do maybe accumulated value, and then I could just do current value, all right. So I'll do the same thing here, accumulated val, okay, and then current val. All right, current val. I think this is very much clearer. All right, so and then you see our starting initial value is 0. Now remember, okay, in the video I did before, I said that our pivot index, all right, always starts at 0. Okay, so then here we are also creating variable called left sum, all right, with the let keyword, and we are initializing it with the value of 0. So here, if you remember also in the last video, all right, oh sorry, for this reduce method, right, we want the total summation of our array to actually start from the value 0, all right, and then this particular line of code here, what it's doing is actually for the pivot index, right, before it actually starts going through those iteration, exactly, let the initial starting value also for the pivot index be 0. So that's what's happening here. So right here we have our for loop block, all right, and inside okay, and in our for loop block we're actually creating a for loop. So we're creating a variable called I with the let keyword, and we are initializing it with the value of 0, all right. And so this I, which is the index of the value of our array, all right, as long as it is less than the norms dot length, so as long as it is less than the total element in our array, which is this norms, all right, keep incrementing. Okay, so while it's incrementing, so what this is actually doing is, okay, it's actually like, going through our array, all right, like in an iteration way, that's like repetitively. Okay, so then we have our if block inside of our for loop, all right, so which is actually the conditional block. So we're checking that, okay, we are checking that if the left sum is equal to the total sum. Now this okay, triple equal sign simply means strictly equal to, okay, so if this strictly equals to the evaluated value of this total sum minus left sum minus the current iteration value, all right, minus the current iteration value of the array, return the index value, return the index, return the index of the array. Now, not the value of the element in the array, but the index, that's like the position where the value of the item in the array is. That's what it's going to return. And so we would keep doing this. So and then here is we are initializing our variable. All right, so here is also, I mean, here can also be like this. So that's left sum equal to left sum, all right, plus the current iteration value of our item. All right, this here can also be written as this, and it means exactly the same thing. So outside of our for loop block, right, what's it called, if no pivot is found, all right, so just return -1, which means no pivot value. So let me go back here again. So now this if condition, all right, is going to continue as long as, okay, as long as this condition is not met. All right, so as long as this condition keeps returning false, all right, what's it called, this left sum is always going to be reassigned another value, and then this particular loop is going to start all over again. That this particular iteration, all right, is going to start all over again. Then the value it gets, it checks um, if the left sum is actually equal to the evaluated value, and if not, it's going towards go over, that's going to reassign the value of left sum, all right, which is going to be like the next value in the array. I mean, like, in the array, all right, that's going to be like the next value in the array. So it's going to keep doing this until it has gone through all of the elements of the array. For example, now we have an array here, all right, and it has gone through all the entire elements of the array. Good. So when it's done going through the entire values or the entire elements in the array, and then it doesn't find the pivot index, then that's when it returns -1. But if it finds the pivot index, it returns I, which is the index value or the index position, all right, of the value of the array. All right, so now we have 3 test cases. So we have our pivot index function, which we called, all right, and then we pass it this particular array, all right, of 17365, all right, and then the what's it called, the pivot index is 3. Now the pivot index is, now this is 0, 1, 2, 3, all right, so it means the value or the of I mean, it okay, the value of our array element is 6, all right, but then the pivot index, which is the index where this particular value of 6 is sitting, is in the position of 3, all right, and that's why we have 3. So the same thing here with this particular what's called array 1, 2, and 3. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. So this actually shows the value of -1 because no pivot index is found. All right, and then we also have the last test case, which is an array of 2, 1, and -1. So it shows 0. So it means that the actual pivot index is this particular element here, this 2 at position in the 0. So we print out the position index of the value and not the value itself. All right. Thank you so much.